A very, very warm good evening. This is Onawa Chaudhary. You are live on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. It is Sunday, May the 4th. May the force be with you, to all of you Star Wars fans. And it's the day after the final of the Super Cup, of the Kalinga Super Cup, in which FC Goa beat Jamshedpur FC convincingly 3-0 to lift the trophy. And once more, congratulations from my side to Manolo Marquez and his team, achieving a trophy in his last match. And we'll also talk about the other things in Indian football. But as always, at the start, those of you who might be watching a little later on, do like, share, and subscribe arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit also arunfoot.com. And as always, thank you everyone for your support. Let's keep on trying to grow the community of people who are looking for a better future in Indian football. And I see a lot of queries and points that Sterling has left behind, and let me go through them at the start. Good evening, Sterling. What a statement win for the Gauls. Manolo deserved this send-off. Hope he comes back to the club in the future. I'm sure everyone will welcome him back if the opportunity arises. Agree to you. I felt it was good for Indian football the way it ended yesterday, to be very, very honest, because it looked initially as if, the danger is there that maybe this could be another sort of match in which Khalid and his team could sort of sneak away maybe in the second half. But they kept it up. So let's see what happens. What changes do you think FC Goa needs to make to take this team to the next level? Uday and McHugh aren't getting younger either, but still they're big players in the dressing room as well. I think Uday and McHugh need to be kept. And it's not, to me, it's, I think for Indian level, they're good quality foreigners. Let's not forget it. But otherwise, if we want to talk about it's going to be interesting to see. Again, yes, these are older players. They're not that old. Oda is 35, McHugh is 32. I'm just looking through the ages of the foreigners. Borja is also 32. I thought he was a little younger. Drazic, 29. Guru Chena, 32. It's an interesting mix of foreigners. And but again, the question is, do you keep all the same Indians as well? Do you change some of the Indian players? So therefore, that's going to be an interesting one to see. But I think I would try and keep the spine, which is Uday, which is McHugh, which is Borja Herrera, and which is Iker Guruchena, I think as well. And and then build around it. I also hope FC will get a seasoned coach and not someone like a Carlos Pena. Even been hearing Jesus Tato. Let's see. Goa are in the market for the coach. I've heard a few names, interesting ones, some surprising ones as well. But so therefore, let's wait and see what happens. Market says Dodgers will mostly stay. Thoughts? Sterling, to me, I said after the ISL, he was one of the reasons that they didn't reach the final. But on the other side, we saw how good Dejan Drazic can be, interswitching positions with Borja Herrera, scoring that important third goal. And therefore, that's what I think. And if he stays, let's see. Could you share some light on the ACL 2 playoffs, if it's two-legged or where they may have one-legged and foreign rules? To me, it's going to be a one-legged tie, and if I am right at this moment, from what I could figure out this morning, it's going to be Al Seed from Oman as the opponent, and FC Goa would host a one-legged tie because India is the higher-ranked nation as per the AFC club rankings. So therefore, if that is right, and up to 7 foreigners can play. Edin Sadiq could even ensuring the dressing room remained top just shows the club's values and how no one is bigger than the club. Yeah, Sterling, I think that is FC Goa belongs to a rare breed in the ISL. I know for sure Mumbai City thinks the same way as well. And, so let's see. And yeah, to me, yeah. And let's wait and see what happens. Hearing 2 new youngsters are coming to FC Goa from Marcus. Reports say Vineet Venkatesh from BSC is one. Okay, that would be a surprise if Vineet Venkatesh would be one of the youngsters, because I think BFC was banking on it or speaking a lot about it, that they were quite happy that they've been able to bring up someone from the academy. Therefore, I'm saying I would be surprised if Vineet Venkatesh would be the one leaving BSC. But again, in Indian football and in transfers, nothing is impossible. So so therefore, let's wait and see that there are. I think that this FC Goa team massively overperformed thanks to Manolo. It will be difficult for another coach to get this squad from the current squad as good as Manolo. I don't doubt that. I do doubt that. Sorry, Sterling. I think that if you look at this overall squad of FC Goa, and if you look at the other squads as well, finishing second, finishing the Super Cup, is that overperforming for FC Goa with the capabilities of this squad? I don't know. Manolo got a lot out of them. That is also true, but I don't think that they have massively overperformed. Finishing second in the ISL also depended on other teams underperforming. FC Goa is not a small team, so therefore let's see. Brandon leaving may have been a good thing. FC Goa evolved into more of a team less dependent on Brandon and Noah, like before also Bryson got his chance to shine. Sterling, it is sometimes better for certain players to leave and certain players to come and go. Yeah, I think Bryson would have not gotten his chance if Brandon would have been around. Very, very true. But yeah, it is sometimes the way it is. Do you think FC Goa should go for an ISL experienced coach? No. I think ISL experienced coach is not what I would need. I think the support staff at FC Goa is so good. If Mangi is staying with the team, you've got a very, very good Indian assistant coach who can bring the foreigner up to date about what is, the scenario, the situation at FC Goa. So therefore, for me, I would not say that I would think that there is a need and a desire for FC Goa to actually bring in an ISL experienced coach. I think they need to bring in a good coach who fits to the philosophy of FC Goa. Yeah. So therefore, that's the reality. And I think FC Goa, one of the few teams in the ISL who've got a distinct way of playing, working within the club, and they need to find a coach who fits into that. And I think that's very, very important. Thanks for answering some of my questions. Sterling, I try and do, again, whatever I know I am able to say, or sometimes also if I know something and someone has told me something in confidence, I'm not going to talk about it. I hope Odisha FC brings that defender and playmaker foreigner from Punjab. C, says Aditya. Okay. Sadiqa will stay in ISL, sir. If yes, then hint a club. Shin, I have not heard anything that he's going to be staying at this moment in time. But again, a foreigner like him, who the clubs know, also with his strengths and his weaknesses, if they are unable to find alternatives, they might, then Sadiko could be an alternative for a number of ISL teams. As we've seen quite a few times over the last few seasons, that there are players who seem to be okay with most probably not coming back to India, and then they suddenly sign for another team. So therefore, that could be a possibility. Why do you think the reason they're leaving the club? Any inside talks? If you're talking about Punjab FC wants to do a restart, it looks like. But again, we've seen last season with Luka Machin, for example, he came back in the end, right? So therefore, for me, it's always what is the best way? How do you work around it? What is the best move from a club perspective on the matter? And let's wait and see. I think Punjab FC, I think the foreigners were good. They need to work on the Indian contingent, right? They've got some talented boys, but those boys are not going to win them enough matches to get them into the playoffs. If Punjab FC next season wants to get into the playoffs, they will have to spend on some more experienced Indian players and also more experienced bench. I think a lot of teams this season who failed to make the ISL playoffs suffered because the bench at some stage was not strong enough. Plus, some of the Goa coaches' name shortlist you've been hearing. Sterling, I've heard it from a friend of mine, and again, friend of mine, and that was told personally. So I keep it for myself for this mode. Good evening, Ishan. All fine. Good to see you back. Also good to see you back, Geron Rare. I hope no more phone calls to you with issues and problems. Welcome, Ishan. I try and do, as I said, as my time permits, and I try to keep that. In Germany, is that sort of little post 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. sort of as a slot. So and try and keep it as much as I can. FC Goa needs good signing for AFC Champions League 2. Generally on one side, yes. On the other side, the question is, how many signings would they need to be competitive, right? Because the same applies to Mohun Bagan as well. Al Seeb, Oman, at home, that should be doable. But if you think about who you could face, aside from Saudi, from Qatar, from UAE, Iran. I mean, Shakhtar just became champions of Iran, right? The team that Mohun Bagan didn't want to play. They recently played a match in front of 120,000 people out there, unofficially. So therefore, for me, where are those good signings? And if I look at, again, they're going to make one or two changes to the foreigners, maybe sign, depending on if they're going to qualify, maybe sign a seventh foreigner for ACL2. But are they going to be that much better? And on the other side, FC Goa has had a brilliant Champions League at home a few years back. But those were different times. That was COVID. That was Ramzan. So it was an advantage for the Indian team. Yeah, that needs to be kept in mind. Good evening, Simon. Welcome back. Hi, Methamphetamine. How are you? By the way, saw that India United players are not being released for SAF. What's your take on this? I think they were not released. I think that would be stating wrong. I think the question was what made more sense for them, and these players were playing ISL to some extent. Then they were playing RFDL as well, and now this other Dream Sports competition as well. Sometimes difficult. I feel that someone like a Paramveer, do you need to have him in practice if he's been playing regularly ISL football in practice? Shouldn't he good enough to walk into the team? So therefore, this is something which I would then ask Bibiano. I said, listen, Bibiano, are you in a position to assess and say, listen, this boy is that good that he's been getting regular first team football, that he actually walks into the final squad, which he should be, in my opinion, right? He should not have to go through a training. And then I know that training stint, and if he's not good enough, you can at least have him on the bench and have him as an alternative. So therefore, I think there are two sides of the things in regard to development. I see in Europe very often that the clubs and the federations work hand in hand in regard to talking development matters. And so therefore, for me, there are two sides to the story in regard to where and how a player should be playing. That's something that needs to be looked at. Is Panagiotis Dzimperis going to move out as well, with Punjab FC going for a complete return? No, as far as I know, he's staying. As far as I know, the coach is staying. But with Punjab FC, you never know. It could be tabula rasa with the owners, and suddenly also not only him but also Nikos is gone. I don't know, but at the moment, as far as I know, they're all staying. So there is no more changes at Punjab FC. Also, is there any youth coach who looks as promising as Bibiano seems to be? Youth coach, yeah. Izumi Arata would be one. Devin Daniel would be another one. Who Devin used to be with us at Rangas Punjab. Both of Izumi and Devin were working with the Ryan's Foundation and now are with Interkashi. So those two guys automatically come to mind. So we talk about top clubs. What I want to talk about Odisha FC. A few years back, they were quite consistent, but now they're going down. What's wrong with them? Here and rare, sometimes small little things make a difference. I think the injury to Roy Krishna last season, and I think also age caught up with some of these players that Dobera banks on. So those putting together would be sort of my thing in saying, listen, these are the reasons why the team didn't perform to the level that they can. And we've seen last season a lot of teams in regard to being very, very inconsistent, right? So, so therefore, yeah, it's always how do you sort of puzzle that together? Asib is strong side, isn't it? Methamphetamine, if I'm not wrong, they're former AFC Cup winners, right? So yes, they are. So they, again, for us at the moment, the standard that we have, yeah. And again, Simon writes it, Asib is hella strong. They won the AFC Cup back in 2023 against Kuala Lumpur City FC and the same team that beat Monwa Supergiant and Johor Dikranga. So yes, Asib is a very, very strong team. Good evening, Anurag. Welcome back. I have some hopes for Mexico on continental level. Again, I hope so. But again, they need to get through the qualifiers. And then if they get to the group stage, then, yeah, then again, it's a different level. So we have to be very, very honest that if we're lucky, we're going to get an easier group for our clubs. Otherwise, very, very tough. There's no easy ride for none of Mohun Bagan and FC Goa. We aren't going past group stage unless some miracle happens, says Simon. I agree on that. Indian clubs need 11 foreign players and squad to fight in ASL2. The other playing position are filled by the Indian guys. Says Angry Birds. Yeah. We saw that when Persepolis played FC Goa, the gulf in quality is huge. We should look at AFC Champions League and AFC Cup as exposure games for our players. Yeah, but we're no longer playing Champions League. And I saw today morning the highlights of Al Ahly versus Kawasaki Frontale. That's a different level. We don't need to talk about it. And if I still know Bobby Firmino from my Hoffenheim days. He was at Liverpool. If you look at those players, just the names, and look at the players who play in the ISL. Yeah. We need to perform really well this season in Asia because our ACL2 spot is in danger. Yeah, methamphetamine, that's also danger. That is a very, very good thing. Looks like Diamantos won't have his contract renewed. East Bengal should give him chances despite one season blunder. Why should East Bengal give him chances? I think for me, the problem with Diamantakos is not just that he hasn't performed, but the way he's been acting. I remember when I saw Mumbai City versus East Bengal, the antiques, arguing with the referee, arguing with his own teammates. I didn't like the body language. I didn't like that, right? It is different than Sadiku, but it is somewhat going in a similar direction. And that is the problem to me, that these guys, they can score 20 goals, but if they behave the way they do, it is not good for, so therefore for me, that's going to be something which we need. For Green Maroon Camp, going past group stage in AFC2 should be the realistic target. Same for FC Goa. Akash, no chance. For Mohun Bagan and for FC Goa, the target is to get points. Surviving the group stage? No chance. We need Arkadak to win the tournament in order to make FC Goa go direct in group. So yeah, that's also a fact. If Arkadak wins, then FC Goa gets into into the group stage of ACL 2. Here, Alsip is the opponent of FC Goa. Yeah, Alsip is it, and therefore a tough one. Can you win the AFC Challenge League at least? Can FC Goa do it? Like, I know they won't be coming to FC off the group stage. They will lose. Aditya, either you are in the group stage and then you are in the group stage, or you drop down from the qualifiers. So therefore, the qualifiers is not set yet. So therefore, that's going to be a conversation in itself at the moment. So therefore, for me, if I look at FC Goa, I think FC Goa would have been a better candidate in the AFC Challenge League this season. But again, I don't know how strong the Challenge League will be next season. How many foreigners do these clubs use in AFC competition normally? Ishan, it depends on the competition. Each AFC competition has a different set of rules, how many foreigners you're allowed. For example, in AFC Champions League Elite, you can use 11. Diamante is not fit for ISL. I feel his fitness and quality became an issue for a while. Is it fitness? I felt it was the mentality. And what's your take on Shankar Lal Chakraborty? Is he good with the youth? Yeah, okay. But yeah, I rate others higher, to be very honest. Roy Krishna Savagam NGO was the turning point besides Dobera's investment in highly paid players and not focusing on bench cost stars. Okay. The team that won Super Cup was created by Rohan Sharma and Fernandez. Okay. There has been connection with this backing and with FC Goa. Says who? You? If we get FIFA ban, will our clubs play AFC? No, they will not play continental competition. If you remember, when the FIFA ban came around, that Gokulam Kerala was supposed to play in the AFC Women's Champions League, that trial tournament at the time, and they were just few days away, and they had to opt out of it because of the FIFA ban. Just to add to that, if we get a FIFA ban, that would mean that we will not be playing our clubs will not be playing continental competition, and as well as our national teams will not be playing continental competition, right? So that's something. And if you can raise it, you can remove it, put in a normalization committee, let's say, for example. So that's the point. Good evening, Arnavo. Good evening, Yashua. I met Manolo and the players today at Mopa Airport. Manolo is a really nice person, has a sense of humor too. It was great interacting with the players as well. Yashua, congratulations, and hope you enjoyed it. Manolo has that sense of humor, quite an intelligent gentleman, and therefore, I guess always fun to interact with him, because. That is something. 11 foreign players going everywhere. Indian players are not that bad. Aditya, if you're going to play Champions League and you could play 11 players, let's say Mr. Goenka had the opportunity to play Champions League and you had to field 11 players, he would do that. Ahmed Jahu versus Sergio Roberto is the last thing I expected after all these years of them being together like loyal bros, sang birds. I have heard different things. I've heard that it wasn't between the coach and Jahu, but it was between Jahu and other player. But I get, what do I know? I remember when Bangalore FC reached AFC Cup finals. In whole tournament, they got young Indian scorers. That is something we need again from Mohun Bagan and FC Goa. Geron Rare, you had a different generation at that time. So now the new generation will have to pick up. What happened to Juno FC this season? Ranjo, they had a great team last year. A lot of the players left and the replacements weren't as good. And last year was an exception, most probably from them, right? As per Boria, Oscar wants all 6 foreigners to be removed. Blue, I've heard that as well, that Oscar wants to change as many, if not all, foreigners. From his perspective, it seems like that a restart, a revamp at East Bengal is needed with a completely new squad. yeah, again, and that will be interesting to see. And then we've got the discussion about Miguel, about Robson. So the challenge here is, in my opinion, is I hope he doesn't fall into the trap of trying to replicate Bashundhara Kings at East Bengal FC, because Bangladesh is Bangladesh and India is India. And yeah, that's something which I would tell him. If they prove me wrong, I would be one of the happiest men in the city of Durgapur, says Angry Birds on the Indian players. Hey, do you think FC Goa should maybe try to convince Manolo for one more year because of the AFC? Maybe one last dance. Augusto, no. I think Manolo, I think the conversation was very, very clear between FC Goa, the AIFF, and Manolo Marquez that, you know, he would do it for one season. And I think if you are the national team coach of India, with all that is happening at the moment, I think he needs to focus. And you know, so therefore, for me, I don't think so. And FC Goa are looking at candidates, you know, but let's see. Diamantakos' mentality issue. He's a system player, but did very well back in the second Bundesliga days with St. Pauli and Karlsruhe SC, but has been on a decline since his Hajduk split stint back in COVID. Simon, if he had been of the level of St. Pauli and Karlsruhe, he would not be playing in India, you know. So therefore, yeah. Does he have a mentality issue? I think he has. As I said, I felt when I saw him in action, there was too much of negativity around him, and that spread to the other players as well. And if you've got that kind of a player, I'm not sure if that's the right way of handling things. And yeah, I think he's not going to be the easiest player to, and therefore, yeah, difficult. What happened to Girona? Same that happened to every City football club. All had very bad condition right now, except somewhat Man City. They're making a comeback. Aditya, Girona is different. Girona is not Man City. Girona is not Mumbai City. Is not Melbourne City. Is not New York City. Those all are bigger teams. Girona is a small team in a big league, and last season they clearly overperformed. And now they're back in reality. For them to, if you look at, it's a small Catalan club outside Barcelona. Yeah, they should be happy with it. By the way, I was surprised that Lion Sailors City from Singapore are ACL2 finalists. Haven't known much about their clubs except Tampa and Rovers back in the AFC Cup, who weren't very difficult opponents. Methamphetamine, of course, they're playing with a lot of foreigners, right? So therefore, you're not facing a Singaporean club, and therefore, a club from Singapore these days can actually get far, or actually theoretically from any country, right? Look at that. East Bengal was having problems with Paro FC and drew them 2-2. Given AFC spot to Super Cup is true when you have older options, Combination Rovers Cup, Federation Cup, Durand Cup, IFA Shield. Sham, IFA Shield has not been played for years. Rovers Cup has not been played in decades. Federation Cup has been discontinued, and Durand Cup is a preseason tournament. So the Super Cup is your national tournament. So it's your national cup. It's like our FA Cup. The Durand Cup is not our FA Cup, and the Rovers was never. IFA Shield was also never. The Federation was in the past, but the Federation Cup was replaced by the Super Cup. So therefore, yeah, older options, nice, but that logic doesn't work. Eze seems to be Murtada fall, except even taller. What a season for him. That's easy, huh? So therefore, yeah, I agree on that. Genetics, I guess. Okay. If FC Goa lose the playoff to Alsib, do they go to the Challenge Cup? They go, Sterling, they go to the AFC Challenge League. Yeah, Challenge Cup used to be another, you know, so that's it. But even this Mutada fall is better than Stephen Eze. They are of a similar level. I would even say that Stephen Eze had a bigger impact on his team this season than Mutada fall had. So, yeah. So I would, if you ask me that way, I would rate Stephen Eze higher than Mutada fall in the season gone by. Simon answers about Girona lost Savinho, yeah, to Man City. Dubivnik as well. Alex Garcia by Leverkusen, that 23-24 dream team. They didn't spend big this year. I hope they get back to winning. They didn't spend even big last season, right? These players, Savinho was on loan, went to City and is now playing in England. Alex Garcia, exceptional season. Even in Germany, has had a good season. And Dominik, had an exceptional year as well. What is more beneficial for FC Goa? Group stage finish in ACL 2 or going into AFC Challenge knockouts into which round? ACL 2 group stage will be more beneficial. I hope they get relegated and Besses goes to Champions League. Okay, I don't know why. We've had this. Just explained that. Eagerly waiting for the GOAT Anthony. Okay. Let's pray for ACL 2 matches this year. I'm hopeful to watch both one FC Goa and ACL 2. We speak with each other after you've seen a few of the first few matches and the results. I really like Jay McClang this season, did his job, including the 2 big goals in Cup final. No antiques and whining, thorough professional. Yeah, and was criticized, for his, lack of goal scoring initially. Let's go that way. Special player for Mohun Bagan Super Giant, and a class striker who showed his class in the league. No one cares about your historical cups, where it was always held in Kolkata and between Kolkata clubs. No. Again, Aditya, don't make comments without knowing history. The Durand Cup was never a Kolkata competition. The Durand Cup has become a Kolkata competition last few years because nobody wanted to host it. It was usually held initially in Shimla by the British and then was moved to Delhi. The Rovers Cup was always played in Mumbai. It used to be the big tournament of the Western India Football Association, and the IIFF Shield was played in Kolkata. And Federation Cup in the past, like the Super Cup, used to be played here, there, and everywhere. So therefore, again, as I tell others, know your facts before writing. Don't write for the sake of writing something here in the comments. Most of the players were tired as well when we met them after playing the final in Kal Boishaki weather, then having indirect flights back to go and then having to meet and greet us on arrival. Yeah, but Joshua, if I was part of the contingent, and even though again I would have gotten wet yesterday and I would have had a little bit of a party in Bhubaneswar yesterday, I would be happy to meet the fans because it doesn't happen often, So let's see. I hope everyone deserves it. Okay, you guys are still talking about Anthony. East Bengal signings have been so bad. I really feel for their fans. Methamphetamine, they've gone, as I've said, watch my preseason video, and what I actually said, that I felt that they've gone for names. They filled positions, and on paper it looks good, didn't have a bench, and didn't see if these players would gel up. If they'd done their homework, would they have signed Diamantakos? Simple question. I still doesn't understand the role of Robson in Mohun Bagan. Robson has not been signed by Mohun Bagan. Robson has been signed by nobody. So therefore, there is nothing to be confirmed. East Bengal will lose even more, says Aditya. Okay. Sir, are you happy with Oscar approach and his tactics at East Bengal? For me, seems one more Robbie Fowler. Again, Red, I know Oscar a little bit from over a decade back. Good coach. But with this East Bengal team, if you've seen them play in the last few weeks, then you realize you can't do much as a coach with this squad. And this is the parting gift from Carlos Quadrat, because this and of course the people who put this squad together, because this is and I think Oscar can have a different approach to the game, but with this team to have a plan B looked very, very difficult in my opinion. Right, already more than 34 minutes, 20 persons watching. Great to see you guys. 8 likes so far, so do like, share these videos. Again, share it with other people to join our conversations. We're at 2,529 subscribers. Thank you very, very much. We're slowly growing, and and let's hope that we will continue to grow the community. I'm trying to set up a few interviews in the coming days. Now we're in an off season. Let me see if I can get a few people to talk to me and give me some interviews and then broadcast it on the channel. Why Vasundhara foreigners became hot top in Kolkata clubs? I can't agree with this level. Blue, I think there come multiple factors with Bashundhara foreigners were a topic even before Oscar came in, so that's an interesting one because Bashundhara played Mohun Bagan a couple of times. So, there's that Bangla connect. Oscar then came, and then Oscar tried to sign the one or the other, which didn't happen for some reason or the other. And so for me, but yeah, Robson, Miguel, the others, forgot the Uzbek guy, the defensive midfielder's name. All of them are suddenly being linked, and let's see who they sign in the end. That will be very, very. Let's see what happens. Hi Kumar, welcome back. If a club named East Bengal is to bring players from Bangladeshi clubs, what is the problem? Aditya, it's not even East Bengal, even Mohun Bagan. Mohun Bagan has been linked more to Robson than East Bengal in the last few years. What do you think Bayern Munich and Dortmund, Borussia Dortmund have won so many Bundesliga titles and passed not other clubs? Ishan, Bayern is by far the most. Borussia Dortmund hasn't won that many. Schalke and Nuremberg have even won more than Dortmund. Dortmund in the recent past have, because Bayern have by far the biggest budgets, and Borussia Dortmund are budget-wise the second biggest club in Germany. So therefore, that would be the simple reason of these clubs. Kerala Vassar season inactive in the market talks. Hope they will do better signings for upcoming season. Kieran Rare, the question is not if they're inactive. The question is if you're hearing something or not, right? And sometimes it might be better for you and I not to hear anything and let the clubs do their work, right? So therefore, for me, that is something which fans might not like, but it is better maybe for them to get the job done, so to say, without me and others getting to know about it. And therefore, for me, yeah, that's something I guess that the Blasters are doing. Okay, not my attitude. As much as I would love to see Manolo stay with us for the AFC Champions League, I think winning the Super Cup final on his last match with us is a good send-off for Manolo. Joshua, I also believe that. I think that's a good send-off. Manolo had a good time with FC Goa, and let's see. AIFF Shield is surprisingly not happening last few years. It was such a prestigious tournament. Akash, before that, the Rovers Cup died out because we moved away from cup tournament competitions to more league football. I think that's the problem, that in about 100 years ago, people didn't realize that you should have focused more on leagues than cups as in the rest of the world. I think India has been always like this. Indian football, we've got our own world. Oh, listen, Durand Cup, third oldest tournament in the world. Oh, we've got these 3 prestigious tournaments in Durand, Rovers, AIFF Shield. Let's push it and all that stuff. We should have looked outside of the world, especially Kolkata football. Do you follow Premier League and La Liga regularly, as in watch daily, or do you watch only Bundesliga and I League on a daily basis? Ishan, I don't follow the Premier League and La Liga that much, to be very honest to you. I do watch sometimes if it is on telly. I watch some Premier League matches, but it is more Bundesliga. It is even more Bundesliga 2, ISL, I-League, even the 6th division FC Remscheid plays in. Those are the leagues that I follow regularly, and therefore that's something, yeah, that I watch and follow. So yeah, that's what I do. If Manolo would leave FC Go, who will pay him? They definitely don't have money to pay him. Aditya, his salary next month onwards is by the AIFF. How do you rate Northeast United FC season? Players seem to write inconsistent stopper the job done. Abhijit, for a club like Northeast United, getting into the ISL playoffs is not a given. And so therefore getting into the top 6 is a big success. Ben Ali has built a better team. Yeah, Aladdin Ajare was the key player to make that difference, no doubt about that. But I think overall, if you see where they're coming from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Northeast United have come a long way. They will strengthen even further next season to ensure that they are a regular team in the ISL top 6. Durand Cup also suited with Shimla Cup. That's why we see other trophies now with Durand Cup. Even Karnataka State Football Association started Stafford Cup again, but the original trophy. Yeah, but the Stafford Cup is for local teams, right? In the past, Stafford Cup used to have also out. So therefore, let's see. I do find a similar with the two clubs and their plight at the moment. Let's hope that both rise back to we miss a prime Man United, a prime East Bengal. Yeah, yeah, this is very, very true. And Stafford Cup was never returned by Indian club. Yeah, very true. I really hated the change AFC made to divide AFC Cup into zonal divisions like South Asia for Indian clubs. This affected our member association points a lot because if two of our clubs go into knockouts from separate groups, it would help us climb higher in the rankings. Yeah, I mean, that's why they've removed it. But, the AFC has been working to find the right formula in regard to Asian club competitions. I think they still haven't found it, to be very honest with you guys. Let's see with the new format if this is going to work and if this is going to take Asian football to the next level. I would hope it does, but we will have to wait and see what happens in Asian competitions. Aditya says, Simon in favor. I don't. If you look at the arrogance and the way they still, even after getting in these bad conditions, Barca had a downfall. Barca fans were humble. Barca fans were humble? When did that happen? Did I miss something? How do you rate Carlos Quadrat? Pranjal at BFC, after BFC, we would have said successful. After East Bengal, huge failure. I think at BFC also, he lived off the team. His team lived off what Albert Rocker left behind. And at East Bengal, Stephen left something behind and he couldn't build on that. So therefore, to me, and now he's again as assistant coach. Maybe that's his best role. I planned to travel to Bhubaneswar for the finals, but the flight tickets were a bit expensive for me and my family were also worried with the weather updates, so I decided to attend the screening. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, if you see how the weather was yesterday with the Kal Boishaki, as you said, made sense. But again, at least you met the team today on the comeback at Mopa Airport. So yeah, once more, congratulations, FC Goa. Bashundara Kings really played well, though, in AFC. Yeah, they did. Bangladesh bringing overseas player, do you think it would be helping them long term or just short term boost? Sham, it's going to be a long term boost because that they've opened a door and they're going to get quality players of a level that Bangladesh will not be producing. So therefore, their national teams will be better in the years to come. And they've just started. They've brought in, on the men's side, they've brought in the best they have, but they have others who are better than what they have. And if they're going to have 5, 6, maybe 7 of them playing, different team, and India will have a problem to compete with them. Carlos Quadrat got affected a lot after his stint with East Bengal FC. His tactics and the time spent under Albert Roca helped him a lot. Yeah, I think he's a better assistant than head coach. Bangladesh will qualify for Asian Cup for sure. They are way ahead than us. Akash, yeah, they might be way ahead of us, but all 4 teams in this group have 1 point from 1 match, and therefore it is all to play for. And again, ISL clubs at least compete with Chinese clubs. I think they have no chance. The Chinese Super League clubs are way better than us. I find it so funny that you Google Nuno Rice, there's a pic of him with Mohammedan logo behind, but we know what happened. Yeah. Sarah, what do you do in your off season? Since what is your hobby? Pressure for is your job in a way. Ishan, I don't have an off season, right? Football, the work goes on. Again, I'm working on the handball again. Even today, I was working on the handball stuff, and therefore building on all these things, and therefore, there is no off season in work. I work 12 months a year, and even though I have to say I work more nowadays than watch football. In the past I used to travel a lot and all that stuff. I've cut it down post-COVID a lot also because my parents, my family is a little older. So that's it. We may all put curse on Malo, especially since he became Indian team coach, but he's the one who pushed Hyderabad FC and FC Goa things with great tactics. Yeah, he did. IFA Shield can still be organized as pre-season tournament with CFL clubs and other clubs. It can be such an exposure opportunity for our young lads. Akash, nice idea. But the IFA would only do an IFA Shield where the big three Kolkata clubs are playing, because otherwise commercially it makes no sense for them, right? So therefore, CFA clubs minus the big three, not happening. Also, if IFA wants, they can arrange a different location to promote football in different parts of Bengal, and we don't have Pan Bengal League or tournament. Akash, also nice idea. But if you think the IFA is going to organize it Pan Bengal, who's going to cover the costs of the clubs to travel to XYZ location, or to have to put them up here, there, right? Because there are some locations where you cannot just say, listen, put them in a bus and travel, whatever, right? So therefore, nice ideas, but if get the money in, and then they might be able to do it, and that money is not there. So therefore, even if an IFA Shield would happen, it would happen in and around Kolkata. CFA clubs need to participate outside Kolkata because they're stuck in a bubble, I feel. Yeah. Is it 6 crore versus 25 lakhs that make clubs more interested for ISL Cup, not Super Cup? Or is it just more prestigious and feels more important? I guess the second one. Blue, I think the timing of the Super Cup is the problem. I think, you've had your league season, then you have your ISL Cup, and then the Super Cup comes. And then this is something where I'd say you are moving in a direction of, oh my God, this is taking way too long. And therefore, it is something of it's just too late in the season, in my opinion. And therefore, too late in the season, and then some of the teams don't want to risk certain players. Players are staying, players are going to leave, or might be transferred. Very, 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 very difficult timing. So therefore, if again, I'm going to do a video on tomorrow about how could be the future structure, a working structure of the Super Cup. Just watch that. I'm going to try and give it some ideas what I feel. How Northeastern FC should deal with involving whole Northeast region with them? Is it important? It should more bit or less? Has playing in Shillong been good or bad for them? Abhijit, playing in Shillong has been good in regard to fan interaction. It has been bad as a result. They've lost 3 of their 4 matches they played in Shillong. So Shillong as a home venue for Northeast United does not work. If you look at the first few seasons of the ISL, people were traveling 8, 10, 12 hours by bus to come to Guwahati to watch them, play in Guwahati. So that has changed, right? That is something which is not working anymore in the way that it has worked in the past. So therefore, for me, I think that's a big challenge that Northeast United have. But involving the region, theoretically, you would say, listen, play in Shillong, play in Imphal, play in Aizawl, play in Itanagar would be ideal, but that's stretching it too much, because then you maybe lose also your home connect in Guwahati. So that's the challenge I think that North United have. I know that Mandar has been pushing regarding youth cooperations with Meghalaya, with Arunachal Pradesh, and I think so that's it. Hi, Harry. Can you see? I don't think Northeast United players. If we remove him, we won't see Northeast United on top. Can we say what is more of a coach role than individual players? See, Harry, all success in the ISL depends to some extent on the individual brilliance of the players. Mohun Bagan Super Giant are double champions. Why? Because their set of foreigners are better than the rest, right? Northeast United depend on 1, Mohun Bagan depend on 6. Or even though it would be wrong, because then I'm not giving credit to Michel Zabako, I'm not giving to Bema Mayer, because we speak a lot about Aladdin Ajay and his goals. And other teams, say for example, Mumbai City's failures this season was that the foreigners come plus the Indians who performed last season, all of them never got to the level they were last season. So therefore, it is for Northeast United. I think Benali is a good coach. Benali has gotten something out of this team. The question is, can they be title contenders down the road? Or at least become regulars in the ISL playoffs? I think that's going to be the big question, and then we'll see. But Northeast United, under Mandar Tamane in the last 2 years, has improved a lot. Question is, can they go to the next level? Can we say Aladdin had the best season of any player since ISL started? Although I know intensity and levels were different, we had marquee ones. Harry, these comparisons are always very difficult, because you'll say that this player, that player had that kind of an influence. Some people would say, oh, Bartle Beach had that kind of an influence. We have to also remember that with 13 teams, we had 24 matches. So we had many more matches than in the past. I would say that, for example, a player like Ilano, Steven Mendoza, when Chennai was successful, had a huge impact. I said Bartle Becher did it. Koro had in his time. So I don't know if he had the best season of all. Very difficult. This East Zone, West Zone format was done to reduce costs, less travel time, right? Yes, Ishan, that's something. I mean, think about it. Let's say a club from Lebanon has to travel to Australia. Not working. So even from Japan to that side, or to Jordan to that side, the travel times are way too much. Just research about Philippines national team. There have a lot of foreign diaspora players abroad, especially in the Nordic countries and Germany. Gerhard Holtmann is probably the best player at the moment. Gerhard is their best player. Yes, they started many years back. I remember 2019 AFC Asian Cup. They had Sven Goran Eriksson as their head coach. So therefore, yeah, they've had a lot of change, and the Philippines have stabilized over the years, I would say. From that perspective, Philippines has been banking on that. But also, if you see Kuala Lumpur City and other teams, they've had a lot of diaspora players also come back, not only to the Philippines, but also play in Southeast Asia or in China or in Japan in the past. So that has strengthened Philippines football. They heavily underperform in this regard. I would say yes and no, because if you think they were ranked, I think in the 180s at one stage. So Philippines have gotten better. They've played 2019 Asian Cup. But again, let's see. Eventually, Bangladesh will attract money in their football and domestic league, more popularity, more talents, more good players. We are doomed, Dada. I think we're not. We are doomed not because of Bangladesh. We're doomed because of ourselves. I don't need to put the blame on Bangladesh or on XYZ. We are messing up our own football. I don't need to blame anybody in the world for the failures of Indian football. And on players of Indian origin, I think we should have opened the doors 2 decades back, or more than 2 decades back, if I go back to when I tried to push for that thing, and we were not willing to do that. And so therefore, for me, we need to look at ourselves. And if Bangladesh football gets successful, I don't know if that will, create any ruffles, feathers, or whatever. So yeah, I agree that Par FC is a good example that even our contention for even challenge league is going to be a very uphill task. Yeah, Metafilm, and look at Arkadag. If I look at Arkadag against East Bengal over those 2 matches, and even a better East Bengal, I felt Arkadag's football was much better than what we play. Akash, that's what I'm saying. CFL clubs don't have any other exposure. Clubs like Bhanipur can do well outside Kolkata if they start playing outside CFL, but the hype of CFL don't allow clubs. I don't think there is hype around the CFL which doesn't allow. These clubs want to operate for 4 months, 3-4 months. So they don't operate for 10 months. Don't forget that, the CFL teams. Don't you get burned out then? Don't you take breaks during Christmas, Oktoberfest, etc.? Not Oktoberfest. I mean, Oktoberfest is something which is big in Bavaria, not over here. I do 1 or 2 day breaks. And I travel a lot. When I travel, I add maybe a day here and there. But I don't. I like to work 24/7. Me and my father used to watch CFL a lot. He used to rate it above I-League sometimes because of hype only. Yeah, but it used to be, yeah. Guys, forget Super Cup and all. There's a big uncertainty. Will we have a league at proper time this year or not? Our whole football calendar going to affect soon for sure. We don't even know if we're going to have any league at all. Yeah. Do you feel football fans are whinier than other sports, or is it the same? Ooh. Angel, that's a good question. I think they are a lot more whinier than others, right? And football fans, I don't know why it ends up in violence. You do see it sometimes in other sports, but rarely. If you look at Europe, other sports, never see violence in handball, never see violence in basketball, ice hockey, volleyball. No. So that's also a fact. Football, yeah, has a different kind of attraction, I feel. That's that I simply don't want to live in. I feel they are. Yes, Pranjal, I agree. Only possible solution for a pan-Bengal league is dividing into zones like South, North, Kolkata, East and West. Logistical operation cost can be less, I guess. It can be, Akash, but first of all, there needs to be the will to do a Bengal league. I mean, I worked on a Bengal league concept in 2013, and in the end, it was shelved because just to do it properly, the costs were too high. Can IFF Shield work the same as FA Community Shield or John Cruyff Shield or no, it can't. Because IFF Shield is not the Community Shield is a one-off. Those are one-off matches. The IFF Shield is a tournament. So, nah, doesn't work. Mendoza was the best foreigner find of ISL. Probably only one of two made international debut after playing ISL, even Kaldushni being the other. Yeah. Adal C has moved to Delhi right ahead. They want to play in Ambedkar. What difficulties they might face in creating a fan base when we Punjab to play in Chandigarh? Abhijit, it looks like they have initiated the process. I'm not sure if it will work out this summer or not. So that's, I think, the question for Delhi FC for them to answer. If they can move to Delhi and get started to play there. And Ambedkar, I'm not sure if Ambedkar is in a position to be hosting matches of the ISL. I know that the ISL authorities in the past turned down the opportunity to host matches over there, and I know Punjab wants to move as well this year to Punjab, but are they ready for it? I don't know. Good evening, Shumolo. I am good. All is good. In live or sleeping? Can we beat Thailand this time? Is Indian football sleeping? More in a coma. Yeah. I feel, but can we beat Thailand this time? In Thailand, friendly, not sure. Yes, the current team, Philippines, looks set for call from the Asian Cup. Yeah, Simon looks like it. I asked this question once, but either you or I missed it. I don't know what happened. If you were to make a squad team like Momo Suja, in which position would you put the Indians and the foreigners? Also, assuming you are allowed to have any Indian player. Pranjal, I don't build a squad like that. I look at what I have. I look at what kind of budgets the owner or management make available, and then you try and build a team around it. This is not a theoretical thing that I do put this and that, and then I have to see what is available, what can I bring in, or what do I have. So therefore, theoretical conversation. After I-League 3, it's hard to understand 5th division to 10th division of Indian football. Why? Shem, your 5th division is the top tier of the local leagues. That is your 5th division. Yoni Kauka is still playing for Inter Kashi. Kiran Rare, I've heard nothing else. People are overhyping Bangladesh as if they are the first to bring in diaspora players. Many teams have done this and it has not been very significant anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it has had its impact. I mean, Australia, initially the rise was because they brought in players from England and Australia and Scotland, especially. Ireland qualified in the 90s for the World Cup, bringing in diaspora players from the UK. The Americans have done it. So therefore, I think it's been successful. Bangladesh, I mean, let's be honest about it. We saw a Hamza Chaudhry, and Hamza Chaudhry was a class above everybody else that he played against, right? So therefore, that's the reality. Even Kalushny has had a rapid rise to the top. He could be a good fit for second Bundesliga teams. Has performed reasonably well for Ukraine based on their recent games. Yeah, could be. So thoughts on Jan Club of Kolkata fans? In my opinion, they are worst fan of Indian football. Kiran Rare. A lot of people will not like to hear it, that a lot of these clubs, yeah, people will blame Melbourne Sporting and all. Yeah, their fans have had problems, but I've seen stuff from BFC fans which were not good. I've seen stuff from Kerala Blasters fans which have not been good. Not to forget East Bengal and Mohun Bagan in that mix. So yeah, are they the worst? I don't know. What should be possibilities to attaining a passport quicker where we lack, other than players don't want to give up? Indonesia, Malaysia do this without dual citizenship. Is this more effective for us? Harry, very simply, Harry Maguire, is that in India, it needs 5 years if you stay in India to get an Indian passport. 5 years. These guys in Indonesia and Malaysia are getting it in weeks. Simple. The government has to be interested. The project needs to be coordinated by the sports minister, and the sports minister doesn't have a clue about this thing. How Kashi's case been going on in CAS by when we may see a verdict? Abhijit, it's been filed in CAS. Nothing else has happened. So they're waiting for a date. What do you make of Next Gen Cup? Do Premier League clubs feel they're important youth players against Indian clubs? No, they don't. We are playing under 21s, under 23s, and they're playing under 18s and not even the top under 18s. So therefore, the comparison doesn't work. Therefore, our results makes no sense. By the way, do you think Miguel can be better than ISL midfielders like Ismail also saying, or Robson better than wingers like Aladin or Ryan? I don't think they're that good as some guys are hyping. Blue, I honestly think that they played in Bangladesh. Robson has been having problems in the fourth tier of Brazilian football, if I read something right. So these guys need to come and settle first. They're coming, if they come to East Bengal, I said, if Robson goes to Mohun Bagan, he's coming into a settled team. So who knows, right? Miguel and Robson coming to East Bengal would be like they're coming into chaos. And Oscar is desperately trying to build something. So if I add those factors into the situation, it makes it very, very tricky in my opinion. So therefore, are they of that level? I don't know. If you ask me, I would clearly say that Ryan Williams, if you name Ryan Williams and Anya Ajaray last season, were amongst the best players in the league. Some funny news, AIFF formed committee to search Indian heritage players who can represent India. So committee just on the ChatGPT gathered information and interview a couple of players. It's not even a fact. I'll tell you a small story. It's a list that I've put together and that has been given to the federation. They don't even know how to use ChatGPT. Miguel is going to be a flop, mark my words. Let's see. Angry Birds, let him come if he comes to Kolkata. Best fan base in the world, my opinion, Japan. If you talk national teams, yeah, surely. There's no doubt about that the Japanese would be the best from that perspective. So therefore, yeah. But otherwise, yeah. If we ever qualify for the World Cup and we're alive and part of that journey, by then it could turn out to be a fantastic movie script. Simon, never lose hope. So do you think in upcoming years, Joe Kashmir can qualify for ISL from past years? They are quite consistent and great contenders for same. Again, rare, they will never qualify the financial criteria. So I don't think it's a part of a conversation. Can AIFF push sports minister for quicker process? Dual citizenship is like a dream, not possible, but is this real possible if made? Do you see players really giving up or they just talk for hype? Harry Maguire, you are talking about something that I had proposed, suggested to the government many years back, to the old government, the UPA 1, UPA 2, where Professor Patel and Mr. Dasmukhi were there. Nothing has happened. So therefore, no, the sports minister will not act on this and ask for a quicker. India is in a mode that India rather wants to reduce people with Indian passports rather than increase. So therefore, that's going to be a difficult thing at the moment. The examples you took are very different from Bangladesh, as far as I can see. It may make them play better than before, but will do so much as make them relevant enough for teams to field their best side as much. Methamphetamine, again, you asked me where it has worked. I've told you a few examples. Even the Philippines have moved up much higher. They would have never qualified with local players for the Asian Cup. Let's be clear about that. Indonesia, where they are, would never be without, and you will see Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, all of these teams are much better than they were in the last few years. So therefore, and Bangladesh can. And if Bangladesh has 5, 6, 7 of those players, again, if they are a UK, US based team, they're much better. Legal committee ka daga khul diya. They didn't do any work. I said a list of mine landed on Kalyan's table. I forgot to tell that you're supposed to build the squad to perform, which means get past groups in ASL2 and you have massive budget. Will you build it or just say not good enough? Pranjal, I would always look and build the best possible team. Are they going to be successful? That's for the coach and the players to prove. But I personally would always, again, if at the moment it's easy for me to talk. If I'm on the other side, I have to talk differently. I have to think differently. But ACL2 for me at the moment, with the quality we have, we're not good enough. Period. I mean, are you going to think that we're going to beat, I don't know, an Al Nassr and Al Ali and and all these clubs who are around? If they would play ACL2, no chance. Also, Ashish Negi said Robson is the best talent. Is absurd in my opinion. Like our league isn't the best, but still McLaren, coming, Greg, Aladdin, etc. Many players here at least. I don't know if and when he said it, but I've heard this now multiple times, and I don't agree to that point. You could add most probably Ahmed Jahu and others to that list. Vantuk Becher, this, that, everything. Let's wait and see. Especially in the Penguins fronting Antarctica. If you want to rank top 3 ultra fan groups from India, would be Horsham. I don't know all the ultra groups to be able to give you a top 3. I don't follow the ultra culture. So therefore, for me, I know a lot of fans call themselves ultra groups, but I wouldn't be able to say. Even the Penguin name is better than our Indian players. Oops, that is bad, Simon. Simon, India only and one of ultra. I don't think only Mohan Bagan. I think others as well. By the Punjab FC want to revamp foreigners as per news. Your opinion? I thought at least they should have kept Vidal. Blue, I would have kept Vidal. I was sitting in Kolkata for the Mohan Bagan Punjab FC match with Azmir Zulic and with Nikhil Prabhu. And I found Azmir Zulic a very nice guy to speak to and have a good conversation with. So therefore, that is it. Luka Machin is always worth his effort for the club. So therefore, I'm not sure. Classic Football Academy is back down from Next Gen Cup. Who will replace them? Is it the right decision? Understand costs and being a joke competition, but still a glimpse into how Simca looks and feels. Abhijit, I think it's the right decision for them. As you say, it's not a joke competition, but it's a PR competition for the Premier League. And they had opportunities to play in the under 19s, some of the players, and the under 17s for the other players. So therefore, they took a wise decision, which makes sense for them as a club and for the individual players. A big problem I see coming soon in Indian football is top clubs will face financial issues for sure, because we don't have any great revenue and world football is going ahead rapidly. Even in world football, they thought with Neymar's transfer to PSG, the football world would collapse. Didn't happen. Indian football has been losing more money than ever before in the last few years, some of the big teams. So therefore, Mr. Goenka has been losing a lot of money and he's still doing it. So therefore, where are we? Sorry. So therefore, that's something to keep in mind. Right, over 1 hour and 8 minutes. Once more, a reminder, if you haven't and you're liking the conversation, do leave a like behind. 18 likes so far. Thank you very much. Share it with other people to join in who might be interested in our conversations. We have 2,529 subscribers. Thank you very much. And as I said, we're slowly growing. So let's keep on growing and watch the short videos. Watch my analysis of the final. NFC Goa winning the Kalinga Super Cup. Can FIFA ban India? Supreme Court helping or hurting Indian football? New capable leadership in the AIFF. AIFF Reliance. What do they need to do to strengthen? So a lot of these videos in there, and so therefore, please support. And thanks as always. Al Nassr, oh my God, pray for us, especially Mohan Bagan fans, even just waiting for such moments. Angry Birds. I agree with does Bangladesh go on hope? It pushes us to do better too. We don't have options. Anyways, I can just go. Yeah, methamphetamine, that's the problem, right? Our problem is, to me, it depends on what the Bangladesh Federation is able to. And convincing Hamza Chaudhry to play for them is a huge, huge step. So let's see what they're going to do. And for us, we have to do our homework. Ashish Negi sir said that Robson, could be a Greg level if he could just stay fit for life. This is right or wrong with this famous assessment. According to me, is good, but oh my God, not Greg Pumo's level. But Robson is a winger, right? So he's not even a playmaker, in my opinion, right? Yeah, Blue says it. Even Greg isn't like Noah Aladdin. Yeah, fit for his life. Yeah. Good night, methamphetamine. And yeah, Angry Birds also worried about Nasser. How players with 2-3 times lesser salary in second, third tier play in South America is having a lot better quality than us. Why don't players want to move here? Like new leagues, more salary, less competition. Harry, they're not even 2-3 times. Sometimes it's 10-20 times less. But these players, do they need to move? And to me is that if you're coming to India, your salary has to be of a level. You have to push it to a level to make it interesting for the players, and that is a challenge. I would say, which needs to be kept in mind, and yeah, not easy. So therefore, if the players don't want to come over here, if the players want to, let's say Argentina or Uruguay or others, yeah. Good night, Gavin. Still night. Good night, family. Have to. Okay. All right, Gavin. Good to see you back and see you in the coming days. And Nasser will not send their B team even here. Still, will win 5-0, 6-0 problem with 2-3. Yeah, Blue. That's the danger. Southeastern countries, Indonesia, Thailand, progress are fabulous. World Cup sports increase. Sir, AFC, SE, Nigeria 4, but others are ready to take opportunity. Sham, we're not doing our homework. No, these countries you mentioned, Indonesia, Thailand, you can add Malaysia to the list. Vietnam, Cambodia is going to do it. We just need to open up, allow players of origin to play for us, and then maybe that is the door opener which helps us to be better. Is it just language barrier or other things players think to not move for more salary? Harry, to pull you out of your environment. Yeah. And be it South America. I mean, for example, a lot of German players from the 4th division would get 3-4 times the money in India, but still wouldn't move. So it is not always about might be language, it might be cultural, it might be that you're attached to something or the other, got a girlfriend, got a wife, got family, that you don't want to move far away, right? So that needs to be kept in mind. Or just research and found out that Greenland also has a national football team, but certainly not FIFA affiliated. Yeah, they play in the CONIFA World Cup, right? By the way, Indonesian league is pretty good for ISA clubs to get foreigners. Alberto Vidal, some good players from there. Yes, we've done that. We've gotten players from there, even passed from the Thai league as well. And yeah, that will be interesting to see. But yeah, that's something which I feel is always an opportunity, right? There are players around. Even we've had players from China coming to India and play in our league. So therefore, these are all potential possibilities of finding players who can come to Indian shores to play in India and make a difference. Even Myanmar players are moving to reasonably good level in Thai Indonesian leagues. They recently drew with Syria in the World Cup qualifiers, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Myanmar had. Even we had our problems with Myanmar. I remember in the qualifiers where Sunil scored over, I think it was a Mudanta cross, 1-0 away in Myanmar and Rangoon, if I'm not wrong. And yeah, it has to work for us, and that's the reality of things. And yeah. All right. 1 hour and 15 minutes. Seem to have answered most of your questions. If you have some more, throw them at me. Myanmar in Myanmar is very tough. Yeah, Myanmar is for me, it's a mix of our sort of northeastern players, which you have from Manipur, Mizoram, and sort of the Southeast Asian players. And they can run like anything. And that causes us a lot of trouble, right? It may seem funny from some perspective, as can we really beat teams like San Marino, Liechtenstein, and Andorra? Liechtenstein might be tough, I think, because they've got some good players. Andorra, San Marino should be possible. Even though Andorra, I would be scared with the quality of football that can play, but Andorra, San Marino, we should be able to beat, yes. Good night, Simon. Do you feel it'll be better for FC Goa to play in AFC Challenge League? EF, if they're going to play qualifiers against Al Seeb, I think yes. I think a team like FC Goa playing in the Challenge League, they would be at least candidates for the quarters, if not for the semis, in my opinion. If I look at FC Goa and the potential that FC Goa have, if I compare them with other teams, right? So therefore, for me, if FC Goa is going to play in that competition, yes. So, and Champions League 2 is a jump up. So I think Champions League 2 for any Indian club would be tough. Good night, Blue. See you again soon. Sorry. Hi, Stephen. Welcome back. How do you see the commission points work in different level of leagues? See, there's a calculator or calculation. If you win, you get a certain number of points, and then times, let's say 3 if you're playing elite, times 2 if you're playing ACL 2, and times 1 if you're playing in the Challenge League. So that way it's calculated per se. Hi Kaushik, I'm doing fine. Good to see you back on the channel. Once more, the reminder, guys, those of you watching, if you're liking the conversation, if you're liking the discussion we're having here on Arunfoot, do like the content. Those of you who might be new, ask your questions. I'll try and answer your queries. And those of you new, do subscribe to the channel as well. Let's keep on growing our community and get more people involved. And thank you as always. And yeah, and as I say, do watch the shorter videos. I did make something on FC Goa winning the Super Cup. A lot of questioning videos in the last few weeks, so therefore do watch them as well. Why Indian players are not moving to better league? They get more money in ISL, but why anyone wants to improve? Would like my players watching J League 3, Gulf League, or Norwegian League. Sham, there are two sides of the story. One, the money is a factor, right? Money is surely a factor. The Indian players, for their standard of football, are amongst the most overpaid players in the world. Two, our Indian players have a certain level of fan following in our Indian system. So why would I leave that? And three, why would foreign clubs be interested in Indian players, right? The possibilities that have been made possible over the last 20, 25 years have always been possible due to individual contacts, right? Biking was made possible by a gentleman called Raj Purohit. Sunil, when he tried initially, so therefore, yeah, without context, nothing happened. Even I tried via a friend in Norway, Chante, Viking Stavanger. So therefore, without that, nothing happens. When's the playoff match for FC Goa? EF, the match would be in late August or early September. Not early September, mid-September after the FIFA window. Either before or after the FIFA window. Like FA Cups, happens amidst the season, don't you think it will get more interesting if we do it with Super Cup and ISL? Of course, yes, but it's a question of money. The AIFF wanted to do this season the Super Cup like the FA Cup, but they then decided to not to do it because of financial reasons. You know, so therefore, for me, if you look at it from that side, yeah, would be good, but there are certain financial considerations for things to happen, not to happen. Oh, so before I go, Harry Kane finally decided to win a trophy for the very first time in his career. Great for him. Bayern have won the Bundesliga. Yeah, Bayern have won the Bundesliga. I was just watching Bayer Leverkusen. I think equalized against Freiburg after going 2 goals down. But that means Bayern are 8 points ahead, 76 to 68. So that means Bayern München are the champions once more, their 34th title. So that's it. Do we blame Goenka for Indian players being overvalued? No. Yes, I think that is the blame has to be put on the whole system. Because yes, Mr. Goenka is potentially taking it to another level. That is very, very true. That is, the what he's paying. But Indian players have been overpaid for in my opinion, last 20, 30 years. So for the standard they play, they've been overpaid. So therefore, so it does make sense. But clubs are getting profits. So how can they get overpaid? Where are clubs getting profit? The clubs are losing 25, 30, 40, 50 crores. So, yeah. Came back to say that Bayern won Bundesliga, Harry Kane first trophy. Yeah, it's Harry Kane first trophy. Finally. And he didn't have to play, or didn't play this weekend. So that's it. So homesickness is something we hear a lot amongst our players. Lever said moving to our country. Some good I-League players of Northeast don't want to move in other parts of the country. How do you see it? Kaushik, it's on you, right? There was this crazy story always about Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp was scared of flying. So he used to actually drive everywhere where, for example, Arsenal used to play. Right? So it's a job. And you have to decide for yourself, you want to pick it up or don't you want to pick it up? If you want to stay where you are, you can stay. You don't have to move. But if you want to be successful, then you have to move. Right? Fun fact, Harry Kane and Sanders Jingen won trophy in 2 days. Yeah, no. Seems like good days for players who've not won anything in their club careers, let's put it this way. And big thing for Harry Kane. Can we see expansion of Super Cup? There are many clubs in I-League 2 and 3. We might see underdog story. Sham, at the moment, we don't even know if there's going to be an ISL, I-League or whatever next season. So Super Cup, what format, what not. I would make it a 32-team tournament and then you would have teams from I-League 2, yes. But it depends on what the AIFF does. So Diamond Harbour is cruising through the I-League transfer market. Can we say teams is going to win elections in football both next year? Kaushik, don't ask me about politics. I don't know enough about that in Indian context. Football, yeah, Diamond Harbour will try and push. Can they? I don't know, but I'm sure that they will try and push for more. So let's wait and see. They've made it from I-League 3 to 2. They're now in the I-League 1 or at the top tier of the I-League, and have a good coach in Kivu Vikuna, and let's wait and see what they can do, right? That's going to be the challenge for them, right? That's going to be the challenge for them if they can make the cut from here to a higher level. Yeah, so for me, yes, they can. Just sarcasm. Okay. Mark it, please, at sarcasm because I take your questions very, 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 very seriously, guys. Right. 1 hour, 25 minutes now, nearly done. Yeah, as I say, like, share, and subscribe. And do watch the other videos as well. Don't know if you've got something more to add. Do you know what the reason why after independence Pakistan allowed dual citizenship but India did not? Because both have huge diaspora. Good question. I don't know. I wouldn't know. I mean, um, I think India didn't want a dual citizenship policy because a lot of people from what is Pakistan or what is Bangladesh could have tried to then obtain an Indian passport. Maybe that is it. I honestly don't know. That might be my logic to it, but I honestly don't know why we don't have dual citizenship while other countries have. Is there incentive for Indian player playing a better league? What do you mean by insensitive, Sham, in regard to Indian players? What do you mean by I don't get the word insensitive in this. Uh, could you explain that? What do you mean by that? Then I can try and answer your question. Uh, for Indian players in general, if we're talking about Indian players going abroad, uh, you know, so it's not easy to get there, and I think that's the big challenge at the moment. Punjab says in India there is no profit in football, running in losses. I have sponsored one local team playing in local second division league in Shillong. In 1 year, I cannot help anymore, especially small business. I think that's a problem. Punjab, and that's the problem for smaller teams, right? To be able to run their teams, to run their clubs without the infrastructure, the fan backing, and all those things which are needed. So, yeah, big problem. So yesterday, Khalid Ball, as they say, was carved out after conceding one goal. The typical game plan didn't work out for Jamshedpur FC. They just choked. Was tactics exposed or nervousness of playing final? I would say the tactics were exposed. Yeah. So to me, I would think that um, that FC Goa were the better team, very clearly, and that they were unable to you know unable um, to live up to the occasion because Goa played their game. Goa could have led 2-0, 3-0 at the break, and FC Goa did it in a very smart way, I would say, and that was, I think, the difference uh, uh, between these two teams. So therefore, for me, yeah, for me, a deserving, more than deserving win for FC Goa, and Khalid's defensive tactics didn't work. So therefore, that was one. It happened, says, yeah. Exactly. So the defensive pockets, Jamshedpur kept on relying on were asked to progress in tracking positions, and that Goan attackers got cherry on the cake for them. I think there are two things that Goa was able to break through, and on the other side, they blocked off, especially Javi Hernandez and his gameplay. John Murray was not really in the game. Javi Severio also not properly in there, and they tried it with the Indian wingers. Even they had limited impact, even with Imran, with Mohamed Sana and Ritik Das coming on, and therefore, yeah, it happened. Kane won Bundesliga. Yeah, Pranjal, finally, Harry Kane has won a personal title. Not a personal, sorry, has won a title with the club that he's playing for, and yeah, so therefore, you know, so therefore, I'm very happy for him, but I'm also happy for Bayern Munich. Actually, want to bet with a very good friend of mine who until recently used to work for Bayer Leverkusen. Yeah, what else to say? Very, very happy for Harry Kane. As per Minerva director, the new constitution was a 7-year effort of the leadership of Qureshi Sir and Justice Dave would revolutionize Indian football. Nadeem, these gentlemen plus Ranjit got us a FIFA ban, so therefore, and this constitution is a joke. But anyway, celebrate it. When will Manolo call for national team duty 3 weeks ago? May enough rest for player to recover? I think he'll give a couple of weeks rest. I think tomorrow or day after they will announce the squad or the probables, and then they'll get ready. I think they'll have a 2-week camp. There is no incentive for playing in other better leagues for Indians. Sham, why would there be an incentive? Right? Our players need to be better than others, and then they can go abroad and play. Our players are not better than the others. Therefore, they're playing in India. So therefore, that's not happening. Now that curse is broken, England can win World Cup now. Pranja, maybe not. God and his miracles, rain in desert, fire in rainforest, and Kane with trophy, no hit, just for fun. Kenny won. Yeah. If Minerva director says the sun is hot today, goddamn, it's snowing there, definitely. Kaushik, I remember a few days ago, you had a lot of lovely, nice laughs, or we had a lot of lovely, nice laughs on your puns. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all of this. These people have harmed Indian football, and then they say they've helped Indian football. It's just a joke. It's just shit joke. And no one is going to take it. At least I'm not going to take it seriously. But again, if that's the way it has to be, then I will call on FIFA, as I said a few days ago, most probably to hand us another ban. Yeah, maybe not good enough for Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal, Musiala, Wirtz, Germany. Let's see. India versus Hong Kong will be crucial as Hong Kong is the strongest opponent. We shouldn't allow them to go 3 points ahead. An away draw would be a great result. Yeah. Are they the strongest opponent? I don't know. On paper, they look to be the strongest opponent. A draw would be a good result. But if we looked at India drop points against Bangladesh, we need a win, actually. So I think, Nadeem, if you ask me, I would think that getting a result is going to be very, very important for the Indian team against Hong Kong. And that, in my opinion, is the challenge for India. And let's see what we can do. Harry Kane should move to PSG next. Okay. Will India get banned? Shomo, let's see. I'm worried. Honestly worried with the Supreme Court, the way they're acting. I think they're not aware of the situation. I've also said that, in my opinion, that this should have been something for governance experts. And to me, so that's the reality. And yeah, let's wait and see what happens. But I hope not. Let's see what happens. Also, any chance the GOAT stays in Real Betis? Pranjal, it depends, what Man United want. Happiness makes you laugh. Thanks, Kaushik. Again, I like a little bit of banter, a little bit of fun, a little bit of conversations about things, right? So therefore, for me, yeah, that's nice. If we can have that kind of conversation, a nice atmosphere, and also then realize that if we're going in the right direction or not when we talk about Indian football. In my opinion, there's a lot going wrong with Indian football. So let's see where we're heading. So therefore, a little bit of fun, a little bit of banter is fine. But again, also, what I always tell all of you: be on the right side, right? Especially today, May the 4th. May the Force be with you on Star Wars Day. So therefore, let's see. Hong Kong has many naturalized Brazilian, Spanish, Nigerian, but India can beat them on any day. Oh, any day? I don't think so. Punjab, that's too optimistic. I don't want to sound pessimistic, but that sounds to me too optimistic because I think to me, you know, you know, yeah. Great to see you pronounce Shomo. I got to know how to read Bengali names recently. Okay, Nadeem, yeah. As someone has Bengali origin, I do. Not every name, but again, I have a few Shomos who I know, so therefore I know how to. Also, will Wirtz move to Madrid considering Madrid performed this season? Pranjal, let's see if he leaves Bayer Leverkusen. It's the first thing. It is dependent on Xabi Alonso. Bayern wants to sign him. Let's see. Said I wish we could go for 4-2-3-1 with defense. Not much changes. Midfield keeps like a Vedanta, Suresh, Liston, Changte, Brandon, and Chetri boss. Use Brandon, Edmund, and all. Kaushik, let's wait and see who gets called up, who is fit. And who got called up to the camp. Who will be completing treble, PSG or Barca? Sham, let them first get to the final of the Champions League. PSG, of course, are closer because they've already won the league. Let Barca confirm their La Liga title, and then let's see who's in the Champions League final. Both of them have the chance, but again, there is still a month of football to play. Pranjal answers, Pranjal, not any day we couldn't beat Mauritius. And that's the reality at this moment, that we are struggling to beat a lot of teams. So therefore, beating any team on any day, maybe the Maldives, but not a team like Hong Kong, right? If you ask me, will be tough for us. Will be a huge challenge to us. Heard Barca can try for treble of trebles. What is treble of trebles? If you ask me, sorry. Sir, the thing is the polished words that these self-proclaimed guardians of Indian football use easily lure the vulnerable minds of already disappointed fans, and they think this us not bright. Maybe they are. Kaushik, that's the problem. And so therefore it's something which has been misused again and again, and we'll have to wait and see. I think changes are needed, but not changes like these people want, because if these people can get those changes in, Indian football will walk backwards. Men's, women's, and U20 or something. I think women's and men's. Okay. Yeah. Stars paying out 550 crores for EPL for 3 years, with ISL having equal or more viewership. Should ISL fetch at least 3 or 4 crores for 3 years? As per your logic, yes, but Star will show you a calculation and say, listen, as I've said, I've tried to explain, right? What is the value of a fan? And a fan, an English Premier League fan, a La Liga fan, which will be mostly metro-based, who's spending a little bit at least on merch and other things. Well, at the moment, Star is rating us as a big zero. And if there is money coming around, whatever money that the broadcaster is paying a Star, it is because Reliance is, at the end of the day, talking to them. And that's why we're getting that money. Otherwise, it wouldn't happen. So therefore, Nadeem, sadly not. I think Jangte and Sahal will make a big difference to national team. Yes, let them come back into the team and let's see. National team players best attack midfield when the kickoff whistle goes off. After that, it's Itni Shakti Hamed Dena. Data. Nice question. How is League One finance now hit? It was bad. Panchal, they're in trouble again because I think the zone is pulled out once again from the broadcasting of the French league. So therefore, looks like they're in trouble again. And therefore, let's see where they are. But supposedly they're in trouble again from what I'm hearing. Right, 1 hour 40 minutes, right? 100 minutes already. Just a quick reminder, if you're liking the conversation, do leave a like behind. 21 today. Thanks a lot. And yeah, share it with other people. And of course, if you're new to the channel, you can always ask a question if you want to. And of course, also subscribe to the channel for the others. Look at the other videos. Did something this morning on FC Goa winning the Kalinga Cup, sort of my analysis of the same. Did something regarding a possible FIFA ban, Supreme Court helping or hurting Indian football. So all these things, do watch and support. Thanks a lot. PSG lost in Strasbourg with a second string team. Yeah, Banjo, for them, Champions League is more important. And they've won already the league. And Strasbourg is doing quite well this season. But merch value is not going to start. I reduce the value considering the value of EPL fan who can be fed with bigger value ads and the scope of subscription revenue. Nadeem, it's nice that you're doing that, but this channel's but the channels don't rate it, right? I mean, even other sports, they are not willing to put in money. That's what happens when PSG is the only team rest of the world cares about. Okay, Pranjal, there are 2 or 3 teams in that league who people care about. At least in France, it's Olympique Marseille, it's AS Monaco, Olympique Lyon. You've had small teams coming up, but the localized revenue from regional telecasts might also bring revenue to ISL. Nadeem, at the moment, big zero, as per the broadcaster. Arsenal fans were in title talks when the season started. Now they are fighting to sustain their second position. Moral of the story, stay humble. Yeah. What happened to Formula Wise, from regulars of Saudi Pro League? He was injured, right? Wasn't he injured? That's the reason. FIFA is indulging corruption in Indian football by supporting corrupt officials with threatening ban for third-party intervention. Huh? Who says that, Sanjay? I love you when you guys come up with some weird statement. So, oh God, they're not supporting corrupt officials. They support a system, right? Is FIFA perfect? No, it's not. Is AFC perfect? No, it's not. But they have a system which works around the world. In sports, it's the only system which works. It's not even in politics. Even the United Nations can't implement it. So therefore, I don't even laugh now when people like you make such statements because you don't seem to understand and know what you're talking about. I know there are other teams, but they have fans in France, not here. Again, Pranjal, I don't need to care about where you have fans, but if I'm talking about the league in France, it is, first of all, not only the French, but the Germans, the Spanish, even the English, they care about Italians, they care about the fans in their own countries, right? So therefore, Olympique Marseille in France most probably is maybe a better supported team than PSG. Maybe, not even maybe, most probably, right? But again, would you know outside of France? No, you wouldn't. So therefore, those are the things that one needs to look at and understand and what happens in those leagues, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind. Right. 1 hour 44 minutes. Coming to an end today. Yeah, but that gives advantage to La Liga. Pranjal, it potentially does, but do they care? Good night. You've got office tomorrow, Kaushik. Till then, we have to remember one thing. Stock a BP monitor machine, paracetamol, and O2 bag before international break starts for us. It will be advantageous. That's why I said you've got some very witty lines. Thank you very much, Kaushik. And I'll also end this with you all. So therefore, let's see what happens. I most probably won't be doing a live tomorrow. I'm a little busy tomorrow with travel and work. Most probably back on Tuesday. So therefore, catch you on Tuesday. Thanks a lot. And as always, like, share, and subscribe arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias. Visit arunfoot.com. And I'll see you very, very soon.